Happy Tuesday, my lean friends. Hope you are doing well. Your week's getting off to a good start, and welcome to Lean Coaching for Lean Coaches. So excited to be here with you as always. I am awake, I am alert, I'm alive. I haven't had my coffee yet, but that's okay. That'll be coming after this. I am, so excited to have you here. As I said, I'm so excited I can't even remember what I just said because I said I'm so excited. But as always, we're here to have conversations with fellow lean change leaders, operations leaders. And it's what I love to do, having those conversations with folks who are looking to start up their own business, who have or are just feeling in that place of stuckness and need that extra little boost of clarity and helping them get a next action step to move them forward. And if that's you, if you're in that place and you need that kind of support, that's what I'm here for. So please shoot me a message. Let's set up a time to have a conversation and explore working together on that. But what we're here for today is to have that kind of conversation. And I'm excited to bring in somebody that I've met here recently who is on the journey, has been doing the whole lean entrepreneur thing here for a little bit. And we're going to have a fantastic conversation. So I'm welcoming in Kristina Schmitt. Thank you so much for coming in today, Kristina.
Thanks, Sam, for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you're not connected with Kristina, you're going to want to after this. She brings a whole lot of energy, operations, knowledge, and lots of goodness. So, Kristina, why don't you tell maybe the folks that are joining us today what you are up to these days?
Sounds good. I will do that. So I'm Kristina Schmitt. I have a business called Kristina Schmitt Development, and I do business and leadership coaching. And so my background is manufacturing. So I spent about 15 years in the manufacturing segment doing like lean implementation, running plants, that sort of thing. Then I started doing consulting. And so I started with lean consulting, but quickly realized that people sometimes need help in the leadership aspect before they can get rolling with lean. And so it's almost like the pre-work to doing it, because while I firmly believe, yes, the whole idea of how we practice lean is to improve our leadership, and to improve the culture and that sort of thing. Sometimes we need to take a step back and just focus on the one thing versus trying to get two done. And so that's my motivation, is to try to just improve workplace cultures so that we can do continuous improvement. So I do that a lot through leadership training, coaching, everything else. Yeah.
Well, it's so needed. And we've talked previously before about this, and it is so needed. And for those of you that are joining us today, definitely let us know where you're coming in from, and if this is something you can connect with, either for yourself personally or in your experience with leaders, whether it's operations or otherwise, having to do the work on ourselves. And if we're going to improve processes, we have to improve our work on ourselves, and we also have to develop people too. So there's work to do for ourselves and work to do to help others to make that happen.
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. Okay. I think I got it. All right. I'm there. All right. That was like the closed part. It should have been more like question, but it wasn't. But that's all good. Well, so how are things going? What's on your mind these days? You're in, we've had, like I said, we've had conversation, but what's on your mind? What are you thinking about these days that's racking your brain?
So I have a lot on my plate, and that seems to always be the struggle. So I've got, so a lot of times what we're trying to do when we've got the business is we're trying to kind of pick our ideal client and pick our niche and that sort of thing. And so I've been working on kind of niching. Well, this could help everybody. And it's true. It's just that sometimes it's easier when we have a shocking, I know. But so I've been niching down a bit here and there. So being that my background's manufacturing, I tend to like to work with manufacturers, but I also love working with like nonprofits and other businesses. But kind of my niche is I really want to get with new leaders And I've also been niching into a little bit of a faith-based background as well. And so I'm doing a bit of an experiment. So I'm experimenting with creating a course that is for Christian and Catholic leaders. And so that's kind of a new thing for me. So that's my experiment. And so it launches at the end of the month. So there is a lot of stuff going on with that. I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah, I can imagine.
If you can believe that.
Oh, I can believe it. I'm creating a course myself, so I know some of those challenges. But so as you're doing all this, you said you got a lot on your plate. What are you finding is the biggest what
Mhm.
what's the hardest part of this? Because I think we can, like, for those doing entrepreneurship and stuff, the whole word niche is like, you know, what is that? Like a trendy word, right, for folks in the entrepreneurship lane. So yeah, what's the hardest part of this whole thing for you?
Sometimes it's just getting over myself and my own fears. And so this is part of like working on yourself first. So we have these beliefs behind us that, oh, I can't do that because of this, that, and the other thing. Or like, I can't get a niche because what if I don't have any business? And so it's just being confident in what you're offering. And so, I mean, it really is like people talk about scarcity mindset and abundance mindset, and it is an abundance mindset, but
Yep.
it's, that again becomes a buzzword as well. And I always like to try to stay away from buzzwords, or at least define them better. So over
Yep.
our internal fears and, jumping, jumping in with both feet with the experiment. I like your words with the experiment. So my lean words. Ah.
Yes. So you would say, like, the top part of that, like, if you were to maybe name it in a word, what would be the top thing that's, getting in your way right now?
Um, I'm a little bit of it is focus. And so the ability to focus on just what's important. Um, because I really like starting new things and I struggle finishing new things sometimes. So
Yep.
that ability to focus on finishing the thing. So like with this course coming up, it's the first time I'm doing a pure online program. And so I'm promoting it on social media and I'm doing it like not kind of in my local area. And so I'm really pushing this online sort of platform. And so there's a lot of back end stuff I had no idea about. I am learning a ton as
Yep.
I'm doing it. And so that's kind of learn while you do it, but it's a bit overwhelming. So between the technology and then just that social media thing, putting myself out there again, getting over the fears with that is a struggle too.
So you said focus, I heard fears. What one do you feel like is taking up the most, like, for you right now?
I think particularly this week and today, I'm gonna say focus, like my ability to focus on the important things and get those done. So
Yep.
prioritizing maybe
Oh,
maybe is the word.
yeah, I think, and that's funny because, we as lean folks, and thanks, Frank, for coming in. Yeah, we want to do the leadership skills and then lean, right? That's such an important piece there, and I'm glad Christine is hitting on that because we certainly need folks like you who are doing this work. And at the same time, too, as somebody who's like an entrepreneur, you're the expert in the field, so sometimes it can feel some kind of way about struggling to have focus. um
Mhm.
what do you think is keeping you from being able to focus and prioritize? Because clearly you have the skills. I mean, you coach people, you help people with this kind of thing. What's keeping you from being able to have that focus? right now?
I think it's just the overwhelm of tasks. Like, so I get this list in my brain and on paper, and so sometimes it
Yeah.
doesn't all make it out of my brain and onto the paper, and then it's got to
Yep.
get from on the paper to like when am I actually going to do it? It's like rather than a wish list, task list. I talk about this in my training a lot. It's like I tend to make a wish list, but I don't actually plug it in.
Yes.
When am I going to do that thing? And so that becomes struggling. And so you just get bouncing around. Like I get bouncing around if I haven't done that, I bounce from one thing to the other and then not getting anything done. We're just like doing a little here, doing a little here, doing a little here. And that's it's not good for our brains. It wears this out.
Bouncing all over the place is not great for our brains. Do
Yes.
you do you feel like you have a clear picture of what your ultimate goal is, like with the course, with this, because you said it's the focus, and it sounds like specifically with the focus on the tasks with the course. Do you feel like you have a clear
Mhm.
picture in your mind of what success looks like for this course? Like putting it out there?
Yeah. I think you know what? I think sometimes I just say, I'm going to do it. And I don't think I've gotten the vision there. So I guess maybe we talk through that because that would be good to get in my brain. So like for me, success is like getting like, so it's a max of 12 people in the course. And so if I can get at
Okay,
least six, like success, especially a first time through, first time launch. Um,
cool.
and I want however many people to I don't know how do you say it. However many people I want them in there and I want them to really grab hold of the information and then take it. So like
Okay,
making it as
love it.
applicable as humanly possible. And so like part of that, like what I've been really working on is really making this, my goal is to have it like to be a book, like a book that they get to flip through at the end where it's like, okay, this is me, this is my personal strategy and how it feeds into my business, and this is my team, and this is what we need to do and metrics going. And so that's kind of the goal of the course. And so to give people that book. And so really making that as simple as possible. And so like I think I need to
Mhm.
do like a lot of iterations on it because you know how they say it's like, you know, I didn't have time to make it a short statement. So, you know,
It's good. I haven't heard that one before.
and so yeah, it's all about like I think leaning it down, you know, like I've got all these great ideas, but what's the minimum we need to get rolling to get started? And then we continuously
Yep.
improve from there. And that's what I want for them is I want them to see that, okay, what's my baseline right now? Where am I? Where's my first level of focus and do after that? And so it's like creating for them as well as the first few tasks that they're going to do. And so that's what I want them to be able to get. So it's yeah.
So you have, it feels like you almost have a couple goals, right? You have a goal, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but it sounds like you have a goal for what you want, like when you start the course and what that would look like, getting it launched and having a certain people. And then you have a
Mhm.
goal for what you want the folks to get out of the course and what success would look like for those people that that get into the course.
Yes. Yes. And so in a lot of ways I need to see that success to create the right course. And, you know,
Yep.
obviously I've got it created. I just have to get all the documents done. Me and those document creations are not my favorite activities. So, uh,
So with
yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
So if
So
you're thinking
well,
about
you go. You go.
it's all good. So if you're thinking about the I guess that end goal. So let's just say what you're talking about with the 12 and 6 people, and they're grabbing a hold of it. They're taking what you shared with them. Um, do you have? I'm wondering, do you have like a timeline for when this you want this to be happening? What's what other things are you seeing? Like, I'm just trying to get like a maybe a little more clear picture.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's fine. It's a 5-week program. So they're over the 5 weeks, we're gonna build their I call it their instruction manual, their leadership instruction manual. And so it's basic. We're gonna kind of do a module, like a block. I have a block pyramid block kind of built up with continuous improvement at the top. And so building each block week by week. And
Yep.
so at the end of the 5 weeks, I want them to have a clear picture of their leadership style in a way, like what they need, and then some
Okay.
improvement activities from there. So that's the outcome. So in 5 weeks, I want them to do that, and then from there, they're going to have like what they work on, and so they can either take next steps with me, continue to work it on their own, work through a group coaching program. So it's a great boot camp to get started, and you can take that and run with it, or you can continue to work with me through other various courses I've got. So that's the
And
plan.
what's the like? What would the ideal scenario be? So, like, of all those, you listed a number of things that would be great for the people that go through. What would be the like? Wouldn't it be awesome if? What would that be if after they finish the course?
So it would
It's
be
the ideal
awesome if they
outcome.
had pardon, yeah. So the ideal outcome really for me and them is that they have understanding of what they want and that they've taken the step to actually put that in place. And so an ideal for me is that they've signed up for another course with me. But just because I wanted like A, I want to journey with them, but B, I'm an entrepreneur. I've got to do this thing, right? But
Yeah.
really, but my motivation is them being successful. And so if they take it and they say, I can do this on my own, then fantastic. I do believe everybody needs a coach. So, if they have you help them with stuff, they have me help them with stuff, whatever that looks like. I think that coaching is needed. Like you and I have these skills, but I have a coach. You're coaching me. You know what I mean? We all need it. So,
Yeah, that's great. So having that picture though of that awesomeness of okay, they get something out of it and then they're continuing to work with you and you get to support them. I think having more clarity on all of that helps us, and I don't know if this is your experience with folks, but helps us be able to prioritize the now. So like I want to be there. It'd be awesome if all of these pieces by this date, it looked like this and we knew it because of this. Right? Having that clarity and then getting us grounded in helps us get grounded in the now, what prioritizing those tasks for now or the experiments we're doing now to pull it all together.
mhm,
Um,
mhm.
so I'm wondering, as you're thinking about that, so I'm just trying to kind of put that, what do you feel like is keeping you from being able to prioritize right now the task? So you've got a pretty good picture. I mean, obviously, we can get some more clarity on that. But what's keeping you
Mhm.
from being able to prioritize to move towards that?
I think that I don't have a great plan for how I get it all launched in the online thing and then get everything built. Like, I haven't put that plan in place yet. So it's, again, new skills that I'm learning. So it's that combination of
Yeah.
learning things, executing things, and then carrying on my normal business as well. So I've got a couple courses rolling right now. So, just balancing everything in the schedule that, and like probably saying no more would help me, you
What's
know?
your timeline for launching? Because yeah, we can all say no more.
um, so the doors open for registration on the 15th of this month, and it kicks off on the
Okay.
30th. So it's like we're in
Okay.
launch mode now. I'm just
Okay.
a little behind schedule. We'll see. So,
Okay.
that's the
So,
learning. But I do have
uh,
support in that area now that I did before.
so where do you need to be by the 15th? Like to be in a good spot?
So that's what I'm figuring out still. I want to host a day, so I need to have a webinar ready, launched, people signed up for it. So that's that's a big thing
Okay.
undertaking there. So that's my goal today. I'm getting that done today. And
Okay.
then there are some back end things like with my web page and the sign up and registration that I just need to put the last finishing touch as well. So those are kind of like the two things I'm trying to accomplish today. So those are that part needs to get done. And then there's like some like the marketing area that I am still putting a plan together that makes me, I think that makes me a little nervous, the marketing part. Like social media, the
Yes.
getting people excited, sending those emails, so like creation and doing of all of that.
So which of those, so the 15th is the date you're trying to launch the webinar. That's the one
Mhm.
day you're going to put the
Yeah.
webinar out. And then that's going
Yep.
to build up to the course, correct?
Correct. Yeah. That's kind of the kickoff. So people know about it and get excited and that kind of thing. Maybe make the replay accessible. So
So
it's just kind of the launch event.
so what are the things that you need to do now? Because that's, so is that the most important thing at this point, is making sure all the stuff for the webinar is locked in?
Well, yes, that's one big step, but I also need to make sure the back end is ready for people to register. So like once the webinar is there, like the action from there is go register. And so I need to make sure that is ironed out and all that back end stuff is kind of ironed. So that is a lot of outside my wheelhouse of I do this thing called the 6 types of working genius, and all of that is outside of my working
Yep.
genius. And so it makes it tough. So maybe that's getting in the way.
So if you were to, so it sounds like you've got multiple like processes that you're working on, right? You have your marketing, you have the
Yeah.
webinar, you have like the content. Which one of those pieces is like the most important at this point to to get done? Guess I'm trying to look at the first domino here in the line that you need to put
Mhm,
attention to.
mhm.
If you were to like, which one of those would it be? Because you kind of got like three or four different categories. And like you said, you're bouncing around and it doesn't sound like it's been
Yes.
effective for you. So I'm wondering if you could like, which of those is the most important for you to get taken care of? Which process?
So just because of order of operations, I would say I have to get the webinar done first, like the planning it, just getting it out there, getting the word out there. I have that done now because if
Okay.
I get that kind of planned and launched and ready to roll, then I can take care of the back end marketing part that's going to happen between the webinar and the other. So it's like I've got to finish the webinar stuff in the next few days so that I can start the marketing. Content part I can do while I'm marketing in theory. I would like to do it earlier, but I think that's my block, is that I want to work on the content. I don't want to work on the other two things. So I keep jumping to that and then pushing it off.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I think if I just say I've got to get the webinar done, because then I can say it's done and I could go and it's off the list and it'll make me feel
Put it out.
so yeah.
So
Yeah.
what
So
can
I think that would
what
make
can
sense.
you what can you work on today to move you forward on getting the webinar? You said getting the webinar like completed.
Yes. So what I will get done today is setting the date, and then getting the outline of what I'm going to cover in it. And so at least the outline, with some slide ideas or some kind of visual idea. So I'm going to say rough draft of the webinar done today. So I've got the content there already. It's just rough drafting the bullet points for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So today is putting that together. How does that feel? How does that land for you, saying that and committing to that for today?
Feels good because it just feels like something getting completed. Like I need, and it gives me better clarity.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like that will take some of that panic off. Like even just saying it out loud, like I can feel like, because this morning I was kind of going, so saying it
Yeah.
out loud, I've written it down too, but saying it out loud makes me feel better.
Yes, and it's out in the thing about the internet and stuff. It's like out there forever now. It'll be bouncing around in the stars for forever and ever. Amen. So it's out there.
I know. So I need everyone
That's
here to hold me
awesome.
accountable.
That's right. Well, that's great. We will certainly be doing that. If you're thinking about our conversation today, what do you feel was the most valuable part for you?
I think like you and I just kind of talking the vision, but really even break down to the 3 streams that I've got. Like that, I had to write that down because I'm like, yes, that helps me
Mm,
bucket things better. When I have the 3 clear, separate processes was good. So that, okay, now I can focus on one. Because sometimes I bounce between the 2 because they are the similar. So clarifying where they
right.
belong, which stream they belong to, make me calmer. Like I feel calmer in my chest. So that's good.
That's so important, and I'm glad that happened because we can get we see all the tasks we need to do, and we're executors, so we want to go and do all of the things, and then we get nothing
Mm-hmm.
meaningful done, and then we feel bad, and all the things happen, and
Mm-hmm.
we go spiraling out of there. So I know Lee was talking about the 3 leadership challenges, and we also had Frank chiming in with a lot of good comments here about training and lean leadership and whatnot. So lots of good engagement here. So thank you everybody for dropping in, and I'm glad that
Mm-hmm.
was valuable, and more to come. I think it would be great. Like obviously this event will be up, so if you want to drop in how that step goes and share how at the end of today how that went, I think what do you expect from today, from doing that?
I expect having some clarity and then seeing what my next steps are for this whole marketing thing. Cause like I guess, yeah. Yeah. That's what I'd expect to have done from it. Just clarity.
Well, clarity is that's really empowering, and like you said, it lifts a weight when we have that, because we can get so muddled in all of the things going on. So, thanks for being so open and sharing. I think that when we do that, that helps be able to and well, it normalizes it for all of us, I think, but it also helps us because then it
Mhm.
does what you just talked about. It gives us that clarity, and then it helps us move forward too, because we get stuck, and we can get stuck in the 40x model and the whirlwind and in the swirl. So that's I'm so thankful that you came on and you shared. And again, please connect with Kristina. It sounds like you all have some great interest in this topic, so please, of course, reach out for sure. And if you need any kind of this kind of support and you could use that, please reach out. These are the kind of conversations I love to have, and we can explore supporting you in that. So we'll be back here on Thursday. We're continuing with the experiment of doing the live audio rooms. So we're going to be talking about on a Thursday having standard work on LinkedIn. So I think it's going to be really, really good conversation, and we'll look forward to having you there. So thanks again, Kristina. Thank you all for joining, and we will see you again on Thursday, same bad time. Take good care, everybody.